Have you ever thought about what happens when a problem is just too big, too complex for even one super smart AI to handle on its own? Well, in this explainer, we're going to move way beyond the idea of a single AI genius. We're diving into the world of AI teamwork, and we're going to build a powerful system where multiple AIs work together like a perfectly tuned machine. Okay, let's get right into it. Picture a really massive task. I'm talking about conducting global market research, then drafting a 50-page report, and then fact-checking every single little claim in it. A single AI, even a great one, is eventually going to get bogged down. It's going to struggle, or it might even start making mistakes. It's kind of like asking one person to build an entire car from scratch, all by themselves. So what do you do when one AI just can't cut it? The answer, it turns out, is our first big idea. We've got to stop thinking about one single overworked AI and start thinking about a whole coordinated team of specialists. And the logic here is probably pretty familiar to you. I mean, in a real factory, you wouldn't have one person doing everything, right? Sourcing materials, running the machines, quality control, and shipping? No way. You'd have a team of experts, each one a master of their own part of the process. Well, the exact same principle applies here. So how do we actually go about building this AI assembly line? The key is this really cool concept called multi-agent orchestration. It's basically the playbook for getting our AI team to work together seamlessly. The easiest way to think about orchestration is to picture the factory manager. It's the system, the brain, that makes sure every single specialized AI worker on that assembly line does its job at exactly the right time. It creates the smooth, super efficient workflow from the very beginning to the very end. Okay, so the first worker on our line is the researcher. Its only job is to be an information vacuum. Seriously, it just scours the web, dives deep into databases, and sifts through mountains of documents to gather all the raw materials we need for the job. Now, once the researcher has done its job, it passes all those findings over to the writer. This agent is a specialist. It does one thing and one thing only. It generates clear, coherent content based on the data it's been given. It doesn't do any research itself. It just writes. And the final stop on our line, our quality control inspector, is the reviewer. This agent is meticulous. It pores over everything the writer has drafted, it verifies the facts, it catches any errors, and it makes sure that the final product meets every single requirement before it gets shipped out the door. But wait, who's managing all of these specialists? Well, that is the absolutely critical role of the orchestrator. See, it's not another worker on the line, it's the brain of the whole operation. It's the project manager that sets the entire strategy. It might decide to create a really strict top-down assembly line, or maybe it fosters a more collaborative space where agents can debate ideas. The orchestrator assigns the tasks, it watches the progress, and it weaves every single contribution into one seamless, polished final output. You know, building the team is one thing, but running the factory efficiently, that takes careful, continuous management. You definitely can't just set it and forget it. To keep this whole factory humming, we need a control panel. So let's take a look at the manager's dashboard. There are 3 critical dials that we have to be watching constantly to get a real-time view of the entire operation. First up, performance. And this dashboard isn't just about looking at charts. It's about being a detective. We're tracking the speed and the accuracy of every single agent. You know, is the researcher getting bogged down somewhere? Is the reviewer letting a few too many errors slip through? This data lets us immediately pinpoint any weak links so we can optimize the whole workflow. Next is cost, and this one's a biggie. Every single task an AI performs, every piece of data it pulls, it has a price tag. It costs real money. So that big number you see is a constant reminder of that. By monitoring our costs in real time, we can spot any inefficient agents, we can control the budget, and we can make sure our AI factory is not just effective, but actually profitable. And finally, we've got security. Think about it. As all this data flows down our assembly line, from the researcher to the writer to the reviewer, it's vulnerable. We absolutely have to build a fortress around that data, making sure it's protected at every single stage and that each agent only has access to the information it absolutely needs to do its job, and nothing more. But, you know, a truly great factory isn't static. It's built for growth. So once your assembly line is up and running, the next big challenge is, how do you scale it? How do you handle way more work without everything just grinding to a halt? And that brings us to scalability. Just think of it as the ability to add more assembly lines or upgrade your machinery without having to shut down the whole factory. A truly scalable system grows along with your needs, letting you add new AI specialists or automate even more steps whenever demand surges. The process for growing your factory is really a continuous loop. So, step 1, you use your performance data to spot the bottlenecks. Step 2, you bring in new, more specialized agents to clear those out. Step 3, you relentlessly look for more parts of the workflow to automate. And step 4, you monitor everything to make sure efficiency and quality never, ever dip. And then you just repeat the cycle. Whew, okay, we have covered a ton of ground here. From building the initial assembly line to managing it and then scaling it for the future. So let's distill all of this down into one final, clear blueprint for building your very own AI team. So what is the blueprint? Well, it really comes down to 4 key takeaways. First, a team of AI specialists will always be a lone generalist when it comes to complex jobs. Second, you have to monitor performance and cost constantly. That's your command center. Third, security can never be an afterthought. It has to be baked in from the very foundation. And finally, never stop optimizing. The best factories are always looking for a better, smarter way to work. So now you have it. You have the blueprint for building your own AI factory. The only question left is, what complex, world-changing problem are you going to solve with it? The possibilities, really, are just beginning.